Hey, it's Allie and I'm here in the office today just getting ready to actually finish up Project Life from 2018. I still have 2 weeks left, and so today is the day that I'm gonna finish those ones. For me, I don't really mind being behind. Like, I don't really think about it like that. I did switch up my Project Life format, as many of you guys know. In 2018, I was still doing weekly, and then in 2019, I started doing it monthly. So my 2019 album's all done. I'm in process on 2020. I think I'm on July right now for 2020, but I still had a few weeks left to finish up in 2018. And for those of you that are Story Kit subscribers, you know that I often share how I've been completing those spreads from 2018 in the subscription content that you guys get each month. So I know that I still have, I think, a few spreads from some previous years that I'm going to go back in and figure out what holes I still need to fill in for those past years. But I'm going to wrap up 2018 now. So before I go to my actual top-down camera, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm planning on doing here. One of the things that I did was I got out my box of products that I had in here for December Daily in 2019. So for December Daily, I often like to keep all of the things contained that I'm going to use. And so this is literally from the end of last year. Like, once it was done, I put the box into my set of lockers over there and don't look at it again. So here we are in September. I'm pulling it out again because I want to finish up 2 weeks of Project Life. This week right here is week 51. So I have the photos printed for 51 and 52. And what I'm planning on doing, because these are holiday related, this is December, right? The 17th to the 23rd. What I'm planning on doing is diving into this box and seeing what can I use from the products from last year's December Daily Kit and what other December products that I had on hand here. And this will also give me a chance to de-stash this box, right? So figure out what from my collection of past December Daily products or December related products do I want to hang on to, and what ones am I ready to let go of, because I also have all the new 2020 stuff over there. So this is a good opportunity for me to assess what I have in that box, get a couple more Project Life spreads completed, and start getting ready for documenting this year's holiday season. All right, so this one started to come together like many of the Project Life spreads that I have done over the years, especially the weekly ones. I went through the cards, so I already had my photos printed. So generally on these weekly spreads, I do 4x6 photos. I usually add in a couple 3x4 photos, and then I fill the rest of the pockets with cards. Some of them have sentiments on them, and some of them are actual journaling cards. So like I mentioned previously, I am going through the stash of product that I had left over from last year's December Daily Kit. So the 2019 kit and products that we offered in our collection. So these are the ones that I'm using for that. So I decided to use a bunch of the journal cards that had the font there, the same font, so it gives a nice bit of consistency across the spread. I like having things that are similar treatments, and you'll see that like when I do the 4x6 photos, I end up doing the same embellishment treatment on each one of those. I feel like it's a nice and easy way to create consistency in the spread too. So good tidings of comfort and joy. That was a plastic phrase that was offered last year. I slipped that in there. So that will be a see-through element to the next page. And I like how that looks. It looks cool too now that I've finished the other spread for 2018. And so you see through, and I really like how that turned out. So I grabbed one of the 6x8 pattern papers that were in the main kit last year. And then I'm using a wreath that was included in the advent calendar. We did a fun advent calendar, a crafter's advent calendar last year. And the wreath was one of the embellishments that was included in that advent calendar. And those are sold out. We didn't do one of those this year. We did a set of holiday cheer cards is what they're called, and you can check those out in our December daily section there on the website. Went ahead and just used red ink and stamped the weekly days for my title card there. And then I'm continuing to kind of just rearrange things and figure out, okay, where do I want things to go? I love the idea of using tags. I'm using a little bit of baker's twine to tie a small die cut tag to a larger tag that I cut down to fit into the pockets. And then I'm also adding on some of the gold puffy stars that we offered last year that I really liked. And then I'm starting the process of adding on a little bit of journaling. I'm going to handwrite my journaling for this spread. I go back and forth. Sometimes I like to do typed journaling. Sometimes I like to do it by hand. Just kind of depends on the stories that I'm telling, what I have to say. I started off this by adding on this triangle and then the star on this particular photo. And then you'll see I actually reprint the photo because I changed my mind in terms of what I want to add onto each of the 4x6 photos. Using a precision pen there to just add some journaling. In this case, when I'm looking back on a week like this, which obviously is, a couple years ago now, most of what I'm writing down is from memory. So either things that I'm remembering about the specific point in time, like my book club had a Christmas breakfast get together, and that's where that coffee cup image came from. So I wrote a little bit about that. On the one I'm writing on now is about the kids coming home. And the way that we do things is we either have the kids the week before Christmas or the week after Christmas. That's how our parenting plan works. So I'm writing a little bit about that on there. On these journal cards, I often handwrite, and then I add lines underneath the handwriting there. Playing around with another tag set here. In this case, because this is going to be behind the page protector, I'm taking the red twine there and I'm just taping it on the back. So I still have that little look of the red twine, but it isn't popping through the page protector. And actually, I'm going to share week 52 soon on here as well. And in that one, I played around with actually cutting some of the page protectors to be able to have spaces for the tags, any sort of twine or ribbon to come through. Now you can see what I decided to do for my 4x6 photo embellishment here is I'm using a combination of paper die cut stars that were offered last year. Again, these are all products that were part of last year's collection that I'm going back through and cleaning up and getting ready for this year. But I'm doing a combination of a paper die cut star, a gold puffy star, and then I'm adding a chipboard word phrase sticker on top. So this is one of my tips and techniques for simplifying this process. Whether you are up to date or you're going back in time to document stories, if you want to add embellishments, some people, I think they enjoy the process of adding, creating unique embellishments or unique treatments on each one of their photos. And I find that doing something consistent limits the amount of choices I have to make, which sometimes that can be super awesome. And so that's what I'm doing here is just repeating the same style or treatment of embellishment on each one of my photos. And that's something that I'm just building myself there with the chipboard word phrase stickers and the stars. So I love how that turned out. Actually, I was really happy with that. Again, doing that on all the 4x6 photos, and then also going to be filling in the additional journaling card there that's at the beginning of the week. And then I think I also just add a couple additional stars that were from the Advent calendar. There's some gold glitter stars that I add onto those the two 3x4 photos there. So keeping it pretty simple overall, loving just the opportunity to jot down some notes about that time period. Again, with the reminder reminder that I do the December Daily Project each year. So the bigger stories, the longer stories are going into that project. And then Project Life here is just kind of an overview of some of the things that stood out to me from this week in 2018. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll be sharing week 52, the last week of 2018, here very soon.